Today we're going to talk about the Color Box from JHS Pedals. The Color Box is a guitar pedal based around a Neve 1073. If you've ever heard the direct sounds on like a Beatles record or a Steely Dan record, or the guitar sound on Territorial Pissings by Nirvana, that is the 1073. And so this was created to try to get those sounds. So I'm just going to talk about, it's got a lot of features, but I'm just going to talk about the main ones. So on the top, we have the master, we have the preamp, or the preamp volume, and then we have a step control, and that's going to step up the gain. So this is kind of like your gain control, and this is like a step gain control. So it clicks up and just increases the gain. You have a high pass filter, you can turn that in and out, and then just an EQ. And there's some other features, but I'm just going to focus on the guitar-related features right now. It's an expensive pedal, but it's a great production tool. So if you want to use it on your bass, your vocals, on drums, on basically anything you're recording, I think it's a great thing to get. If you're just looking to use it for guitar, then JHS makes the Crayon, which is basically just the top portion of this, and it's much cheaper. But for this video, we're just going to focus on guitar applications for this. First, we're going to do like a light overdrive sound, then we're going to do a distortion, and then we're going to see how fuzzy it can get. Then we're going to take it and we're going to put it into the preamp of my little sister. So we're going to bypass we're going to put it in the power amp of the little sister, bypassing the preamp and using this as a preamp. Then we're going to use it as a direct box direct into the audio interface with no speaker simulation or no preamp in the line or anything. So just direct into this and then direct into the audio interface. All right, let's check it out. All right, we're going to do some overdrive sounds. So I'm playing this SG into the Friedman Little Sister, and I have it set on about as clean as it'll get. And so we're just going to do a bit of overdrive on that. So you can see it's good for those kind of garage rock sounds. It's a good, just all-around overdrive with a really flexible EQ. So the overdrive is good for getting like just vintage rock sounds. You could even put up on the high pass and you could take out some of the low end on that. If you wanted to give it a more nasally, like vintage kind of sounds. All right, now we're going to check out some distortion sounds. So this is what it sounds like before the pedal's in. So it's a really cool gravelly distortion. It sounds like your guitar pedal has been smoking for 50 years. The high pass was in on that, so you can get a lot more bass out of it too. So it's not really like a smooth, like clean distortion. Probably not very good for metal, but great for all kinds of rock and roll. This is definitely, I don't think, a pedal for any metalheads. I mean, maybe, but... Let's try it with more distortion, see how blown out we can get it. So it really starts to gate heavily when you push that too hard. So you got to kind of like find the sweet spot where it's not gating too much, but you still get a lot of fuzz. That's still kind of in distortion territory. So on the song you just heard, I used this on the bass. I used it on all the guitars. I ran it straight into the little sister. And then I also, for the lead part, I just went direct into the audio interface through this. So that's what the sounds you're hearing in that song. So now I want to try it as a preamp. So my guitar is going into the pedal, and the pedal is going into the return on the effects loop in the little sister. So it's bypassing the preamp, going straight to the power amp. And so instead of using the preamp in the Friedman, I'm using the Color Box as a preamp. Let's see how that sounds. I'm going to kick in that high pass. There's a lot of bass on that. Yeah, so you get kind of this like weird fuzz sound in the background. I don't really know how to explain it, but if you just listen to it decay. It kind of sounds like you're playing through an amp and playing through a direct signal at the same time. So you can hear that when you palm mute it. and as it decays. It sounds cool. I feel like there's a lot of uses for that. If you just want to get something just a little bit different out of your amp, if you just have one amp, or if you're just looking for like a little bit of a weird sound that could just work in a mix. I probably wouldn't run it like that all the time or as like a rig for a show, but putting in the power amp sounds cool. So now we're going to take a look at some direct sounds. My guitar is going straight into the color box, and the color box is going straight into the audio interface. So that's all you're hearing. There's no speaker or anything. This is just direct. It's going to give like a vintage sound, like old Beatles records, things like that. So just those kind of sounds. It gives you just sort of like a blown out fuzzy tone that you can't get when you have a speaker. All right, let's see what happens when we push the distortion more. So you can hear it start to gate out. So cool. I definitely feel like that is usable in a production context. Maybe it's not your main guitar sound, but maybe it's just a small part. There's a lot of different uses for this. And I think as a production tool, it has a lot of value. So it's a really fun pedal. It's got a lot of really cool sounds you can get out of it.